What's the biggest misconception to you people have about being in combat?
Biggest misconception. I think if we run the numbers, I think people would be, I'm going to say this for like the young guys, because I remember what it was like being a young guy wondering, could I kill someone? Could I be in combat? Um, it's a lot easier to fight for your life, whether you put yourself in that position or not, than you would think. Because most people who come out with some kind of stress disorder or stress, like PTS, it's not usually because of the acute moment. It's because of being exposed to chemicals and head injury and concussions and chronic stressors. So I would say that um, it's much easier to be in combat than people think. Um, and frankly, you use the term pipe hitter, and there's a reason. When you start chasing that dragon, there's very little that is that kind of rush. People climb mountains because the fear of death is there. It's like this mountain might get me, or people sail around the world solo because of that, or they do all kinds of extreme things. But it's a very different thing when someone else is another human is trying to kill you. It's quite the game of chess. So it does have that, and that can make it a little bit intoxicating, and that can be a pro and a con of it, I suppose. But I think that's a big misconception of it. But then that goes though with the second part where, yeah, that's the moment, and the high five and afterwards and whatnot. We made it through. But when the dust settles, it can be hard to find glory in those moments.
That's for you personally. How often would you say when you were deployed would you get that intoxicating rush? Was that something you personally experienced on numerous occasions, or yes or no?
Yes. I, like I said, I was chasing the dragon too. Um, and that if I would have stayed in, I probably would have continued, until my body fully broke, just fell apart. Yeah, that was something so like my very first gunfight I had that moment of like, okay, I'm in a gunfight. What's going on, But then it shifted and it was like, I'm in a gunfight, let's get this going on. And then it's amazing how like hyped up the dogs can get. You know what I mean? When you train someone to do something who wants to be doing it and is doing it, well, yeah, you get that kind of effect for it. And I think that's one of the things that lots of soldiers on the other side have trouble reconciling because they're like, am I allowed to have felt good for doing that? Because then you like weigh it out and you're like, well, was I just protecting oil or was I saving lives or like what like, and I'm being very broad in that statement. I think you get what I'm saying. Um, am I allowed to feel good about this? Does that make me a psycho or, like you wrestle with these things and um, that's why soldiers like to be in places like the VAs or not the VA. We
VFW.
call them Legion, yeah, VFWs and stuff like that, where it's like, okay, I can be around these people. They get it, a little bit more. Not everybody gets it the same, but, yeah. And they don't feel ostracized.